Great, that should start recording now.
Perfect. All right. Again, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for Discover Shanghai, our student webinar to talk about our Shanghai programs at IFSA. So to let you know what we're going to cover in this webinar today, first we're going to meet the team. So we have an amazing team in Shanghai and around the world, actually. We'll talk about our Shanghai locations, go through some academics, talk about our program tracks, our internship opportunity, go through the student experience, so what you can expect for housing, cultural activities, excursions, and all of the IFSA support that you'll be getting. We'll talk briefly about health and safety and COVID-19, and then we'll go over a little bit with the application process, what to expect with that going forward, as well as some scholarship opportunities through IFSA. And then we will save time at the end for Q&A. Feel free to drop any questions as we're going through the presentation in the chat or in the Q&A box, and let us know if you don't want to leave it till the end. If we're on a slide and you think of a question, feel free to drop it there and we'll get to it at the end. Or of course, you can share your questions during the Q&A as well. So to start with, I'm going to introduce our amazing Shanghai team. With me on the call today is Christy Hoover. She is our Regional Director for Asia Pacific. We also have Dr. Pei Liu. She is our amazing Director of Teaching and Learning. She still works a lot with the Shanghai programs with us. We also have our Director of our China programs, Tina Zan. We have myself, Brittany Brooks. Many of you know me already, but if you don't, I am the enrollment counselor for China, New Zealand, and Sri Lanka programs at IFSA. And then we also have Stella Shin. She is our student experience coordinator for China as well. And Tina and Stella unfortunately couldn't join us live on the call just due to the time difference in China, but they have recorded a couple welcome videos for you. And I'm going to start with our director, Tina, and I'll apologize in advance. They may be a bit quiet and harder to hear. Thank you for your patience with that. So this is our director, Tina.
Hello from Shanghai. My name is Tina Zan. I'm the director for China programs with IFSA. I was born and raised in Shanghai and have studied abroad in the US and UK when I was a student. My own personal and professional experiences in international education are transformative life experiences for me. And I'm passionate in empowering our students to appreciate diversity and become a global citizen. Immersing yourself in a different culture can be both challenging and rewarding. Know that our dedicated team underground is here to support you in making the most out of your experiences here. From providing academic guidance, health and safety support, to navigating local life. We're committed to ensuring your adventure is seamless and unforgettable. The world is your classroom, and I can't wait to see the ways in which you will make it your own. Let's embark on this adventure together. Hope to see you in Shanghai.
All right, thank you, Tina. And now a word from our student experience coordinator, Stella.
Hello everyone, my name is Stella, your student service coordinator. My main job is to organize student events and gather feedback to improve our services. But more than that, I want to help students in any way I can, whether it's in an emergency or just listening. I'm here for you. I'm passionate about supporting students and helping students reaching their goals. Looking forward to assisting more students in the future. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thanks, Stella. I think the picture inverted there for some odd reason. And that one was probably hard to hear. But that's Stella. She is our student experience coordinator on site in Shanghai. She's very excited to welcome all of our students for future semesters. Thank you, Stella. So let's move on to the next. And I'm going to turn it over now to Christy, who is going to talk through our program locations in Shanghai.
Amazing. Thanks for that, Brittany. And thanks everyone for joining today. It's so great to have you on our call. Shanghai is an incredible location for international students. China's largest city is also one of the trendiest in Asia. It's clean, impressive, modern, and it's got that mix of history and culture. IFSA Shanghai is located in the northeastern part of Shanghai in the Yangpun district, which is known as the Education District. So it's about half an hour on the metro to downtown Shanghai. And there's multiple universities in the district, including Shanghai University of Finance and Economics and Fudan University. Having many universities in the surrounding area gives plenty of opportunity for IFSA students to engage with local university students. This includes on University Avenue, which has great food, bars, cafes. It's got creative and high-tech companies there. It's a really dynamic and fun environment for university students. Shanghai is a really safe city. It's very efficient and affordable public transport. The city has 20 metro lines, and for 10 stops, you pay less than $1. So there's 3 train stations and 2 international airports in Shanghai. So it's quite easy to travel in and out. And also there's many ancient places that are within easy reach of the bullet train. So a great place for students to be. Next slide, please. So looking at our IFSA Center, the IFSA Center is located in a business incubator, and this makes it an excellent place for innovation. So there's plenty of startup businesses, and it's in walking distance of the Sufi campus and the international dorm apartments where students will be living. Our center has 5 classrooms, including a hub classroom that has a Mondo pad, which can be used for classes and interaction with sites around the world. Students will interact with our staff on nearly a daily basis. So besides it being used for classes, students can study here or meet staff for that high support of pastoral care. So even just dropping by for a chat. There's 3 metro lines in the area where the center is located, so that's providing a lot of convenience for you to explore in your free time. Next slide, please. So the Sufi University of Finance and Economics is considered one of the best finance and economics universities in China. It's ranked number 7, and that was in 2023 in the US News Best Global University Subject Ranking. And it works closely with many international professional organizations, including being a member of the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business. Sufi has been our education partner in China since 2007 when we opened in Shanghai. There's 2 campuses that have exceptional facilities, which our students can use, and our students frequent the main campus where they will have some classes. It's safe, easy to navigate around, and it's in walking distance within the Sufi Center. Within walking distance to the IFSA Center. I'll now hand over to Brittany, and she can share more about the program in terms of academics.
Perfect. Thanks, Christy. Yeah, so let's talk about academics and the different program tracks that we offer in Shanghai. So I'm going to start with our international business track. This track is offered in spring and the fall, and the usual credit hours that students take is 15 to 16 is the credit load. So international business, we do have some course prerequisites. So 1 business class and 1 economics course, or 2 economics courses if your home institution doesn't have business courses. And we can do a conditional acceptance there. So if those classes are in progress during your IFSA application, no problem at all. We can conditionally accept, and then the condition would be your transcript showing those updated that you passed those courses. We do have a GPA requirement for a 2.0. This is the same across all program tracks. And then for business, we have a core class called China, the Economic Giant, which is 3 US credit hours. And then also on this track, you can choose between the other elective classes that we're running. So you can see them listed here, a variety of different topics, subjects. You've got international trade, China as a global market. So different options on that international business track for you to take. And also you can take an elective from the social sciences track as well. I'll go over that one in a minute. We also will have an internship course that you can take while you're on the international business track, in addition to a language course. So you have those opportunities with international business as well. Our next track is social sciences. As I said, we do offer this spring and fall as well. There are no prerequisites for this track. And you can see here, there is a core class requirement as well, Chinese society in the 21st century, just kind of a look at how China has evolved and become what it is in the 21st century. We also have some elective classes. Again, there are 3 US credit hours, and you can see them here again, several different topics. We have political science, Chinese politics, public health, policy and practice in China. We even have survey of art in China. So quite a few interesting electives for social sciences. And again, as the international business track students on this track can also take an elective from the business track, the internship course, and the language course if you're interested. Finally, well, not finally because we have 4, but we are bringing back intensive language. So this program track had been suspended during the pandemic, and we are bringing it back fall 2024. Very excited to do so. We do have a course prerequisite, and that is that you must have taken 2 semesters of Chinese language before the program. And again, that GPA requirement stays the same, but our intensive language track is an amazing opportunity to take a deep dive into the Chinese language. You'll take 20 hours of language instruction a week, and that will total to 15 US credit hours for the program for the language class. You can also take 1 elective class in addition that's happening that session from one of those other program tracks. It would be an additional 3 US credit hours, which would take you to 18, and it's not recommended just because of how intensive and rigorous the Chinese language curriculum is. So we do recommend sticking to that 15 US credit load there. But excited to bring this one back for fall 2024. And finally, we have our standard program. This is kind of a build your own program sort of option. We have no prerequisites for this. And again, that GPA is 2.0. And for this one, you would just choose a mix of courses across all tracks. You can do the Chinese language courses as well, in addition to the internship. So let's talk about our Chinese language courses. So again, these are possible to take on any of the tracks. We do have an essential Chinese class. So this is a requirement for students who have never taken Chinese before. It's just 1 US credit hour, but it's a really helpful class that happens in the beginning of your semester to give you more confidence using the language, interacting in your new community, and kind of gives you just a base foundation in Chinese. And then we also have these other levels here. So our regular Chinese language classes for fall and spring are 6 US semester credit hour courses. We'll have spanning from beginning all the way up until advanced readings in Chinese. We do not have a requirement. There is no prerequisite to take this class. We are welcome to go for beginning Chinese if you've never taken Chinese before. We will do placement exams. So you'll have part of it will take place via Zoom with our faculty in Shanghai before the program. And then we will have an on-site component when you get to Shanghai to start your program to determine your placement. We also have a business Chinese class here as well. That one does have a prerequisite of 3 semesters of Chinese language, and that is a 3 US credit hour course. All right, now our international internship seminar. This is an amazing opportunity that is also coming back starting in fall 2024. This is a course, so it's worth 3 US credit hours. You would take a 15-hour seminar. This is online classwork, and then you would have 120 hours total of an internship. And a few notes here, your internship can be in English and Chinese. If you are interested in doing a placement in Chinese, you have to have had at least 4 semesters prior to the program start. This is an amazing opportunity to gain real-world work experience while also developing that intercultural agility that IFSA values so much. A few of the required application items. So if you choose this class, it will be during the application process, and we will ask for your resume, your internship interest form, and that is just for you to share with us your experiences that you've had, what you're looking for out of your internship, and then our on-site staff works to find a placement that can accommodate this. So they'll work with you on getting a placement that works for you. And some of the example locations in the past, some students have done international nonprofits, corporations, think tanks, different businesses that promote public or environmental health in Shanghai, just to name a few. So amazing opportunity to get an internship as part of your fall or spring program. And we do have them in the summer as well. They are coming back summer 2025. So not offering summer 2024, unfortunately, but excited to bring back for 2025. So speaking of summer, we do have a few summer sessions running. So for 2024, students can take 1 or 2 4-week sessions. Our first session course is City and Environment, so one of the electives from one of the other programs that we just went through. And then session 2 course is China, the Economic Giant. You can also choose to take a Chinese language class instead. They're offered each session. So students can take just one session and come for the beginning of the summer. They can take both, or they can come for the second session. So whichever you are interested in. And again, our internship is still currently suspended, but once it comes back in 2025, it will be 3 credit hours, and you can take one additional summer session class as well during the 8-week session. And again, some of the same locations that we've had students before for those summer internships. So coming back summer 2025, but for 2024, we will be happy to welcome our students for our regular summer sessions here. All right, and I think that does it for academics. So I'm going to turn it back over to Christy, who will now talk about the student experience and all the exciting things you can expect for your time in Shanghai.
Great. Thanks for that, Brittany. Yeah, so I'm excited. I love talking about things like our housing activities and IFSA support. Before I jump into those topics, I did just want to share that we also offer one-on-one advising appointments with students, and those can even take place on a weekly basis. So you would sign up and you would just then have that time with one of the IFSA staff at the IFSA Center, and that can be used as like a personal check-in, well-being support, or even like individual coaching. So students will be completing like a learning plan, and this gives great opportunity to check in on the progress of your goals and to see how you're going throughout the semester. So please make use of those appointments. Know they are available to you. Yes, and thanks for that, Brittany. If you can move to the next slide, I'll start going through some of the exciting things like our housing. So the photos that are pictured there are the international student dorms. They really are apartments. They're in the surrounding neighborhoods of Shanghai University of Finance and Economics. So you will live in an apartment that is also housing other international students from around the world. And it gives us great opportunity, for, cultural exchange and informal language practice in that way. So the dorms are about a 15-minute walk, and I say dorms, but they're really apartments. They're a 15-minute walk distance from the IFSA Program Center and the university main campus. So really centrally located. They're 4-bedroom apartments, and each student has their own private room. Each apartment has a kitchen, a living room, 2 shared bathrooms, and 2 balconies. And the rooms have AC, which can be flipped to heating. There's internet, a clothes closet, and a desk. Within the facilities at the SUPI International Dorms, there's a laundry room. There's this amazing student lounge that has all these great breakout study spaces, or you could, do a groups meeting there. And then there's study rooms there too. You'll enter the building through a fingerprint recognition system. And so there's a guard actually at the front entrance as well. So 24/7 in terms of security. There's property management that's open Monday to Friday during business hours. They can handle any repairs or maintenance or that sort of thing. And there's just a variety of inexpensive food stalls, restaurants, where you can get food that is like right across the street pretty much. And then there's also a cafeteria that is in our IFSA Center. So plenty of places to eat amazing food too. Next slide, please, Brittany. In terms of the excursions and the cultural activities, we do co-curriculars. So those are those activities that are associated with your classes, and then regular extracurricular activities. And these will occur, the extracurricular occur on a weekly basis. So every week there will be some activity for you to participate in, and they really maximize your experience in Shanghai. We'll also organize the Penyo Project, which is a popular extended language partner program. And the primary goal of this is to give students the opportunity to be paired with a willing and engaged Chinese student. This person could end up being, a close friend over the term, because you're going to meet quite often, And it's just really an opportunity through language exchange and activities and hanging out to really get to know each other and practice your language skills. So we'd encourage you could go get coffee or a meal, go to a concert, an exhibit, a day tour, whatever it might be. But it really helps to expand your local network, build up your confidence in navigating Chinese language and culture, and it opens this avenue for sustained cultural learning, and that goes both ways. So if you want to join in, you would sign up with an application form, and you need to commit to at least 2 hours per week over an 8-week period. And that's, obviously we're expecting the same from the other student as well. So other examples of co-curricular or extracurricular activities would include calligraphy, Tai Chi classes. We do academic workshops and field visits that expose students to China's geography and cultural diversity. If we want to hop over to the next slide, please. So in terms of our community-based learning activities, here's these photos are examples of just some of the things that we've done. We're not limited to these, but there was a festival celebration with like local families, a professional networking event, a craftsmanship workshop. We've done visits to local companies. We're really engaging, the students within their local environment and creating a space of learning and exchange. So a lot of thought goes into these, and they're really quite intentional. The staff are, purposeful when they're planning these, and they really want a balance of voices from the host community because that provides invaluable reflective intercultural opportunities. So they leverage local networks, relationships with Chinese universities, and facilitate really unique opportunities with outside of Shanghai. Next slide, please, Brittany. So looking at city as text, so this is a really fun way to get to know the city. And so this will be led by, one of IFSA's faculty or one of IFSA's staff, and it's kind of using your classroom, as the local environment. So as an example, the students went on a historical walk to examine the historical relationship of the British presence in Shanghai's Bund from the mid-19th century, and they kind of traced the roads around the Bund and discovered the ways in which the area had developed and continues to develop. And it's an incredible space to be in, and I'm continuously impressed every time I've been. They've also done like guided business tours that were led by faculty, so students could gain firsthand knowledge of how companies operate in Shanghai, how they manage supply chain networks, as well as other themes related to sustainability and smart city development. So I think that these sorts of opportunities, again, really unique, create this really amazing learning experiences, and that you'll see things kind of through new eyes as well. So we hope that they're rich in culture, architecture, historical heritage. These kind of themes often come out, and it's a great space with students who have interdisciplinary interests to engage in new perspectives and develop new cultural agility skills. And then moving into our overnight excursions, super exciting and fun. This happens once during the semester. So there's one weekend that we will plan away for the students to get outside the city. So exposing, Shanghai is, so cosmopolitan. So being able to explore a place like a water town that might be, include some travel outside there. So looking at natural beauty, history, the art of canal and ancient towns in the region, often visiting museums, waterway, and learning about waterway systems, silk and craftsmanship markets. There's also a green tea plantation that we visited before, and unique sort of dining experiences. So again, it kind of breaks up study a little bit to have that experience outside the city. All right, I think I'm handing back to you. Oh, sorry, no, I'm continuing on. My apologies. In terms of the IFSA student support, so the pre-arrival support, so you've worked closely with Brittany as your enrollment counselor in completing, the application that you need to for IFSA, and as well then for your student visa. There's plenty of information that's given to you at different points throughout the application process. There's also a pre-arrival webinar where you'll learn more specifics even about your arrival and the experience that you'll have once you get on site. And students are arriving today for our spring program. It's so exciting. So right now they are flying into Shanghai. Our staff are on the way to the airport where they're going to meet them and greet them. And they've pre-book that transportation. They're going to take them back to their residence and help them settle in. They'll have a meal tonight, and then they've got some wonderful things planned for the next few days, including information sessions and also some fun activities. They'll meet their staff. So Tina and Stella, the staff that were introduced earlier on, are the first point of contact. So you will see these staff, Monday to Friday or on weekends, when you're having those kinds of excursions, and you get to know them on a level, and they'll be there to provide that high level of support and personalized care for you, and also potentially challenge you in new ways so that you can grow through this experience. You'll have those consistent regular check-ins, and any opportunity where you would like more, that's what they're there for. Staff will also do a weekly newsletter. So this will highlight, the events or activities that are taking place that week, also fun things that are happening in the city, things that you might need to remember to do in terms of, courses or those kinds of things. So it's on a consistent basis, you'll have face-to-face and other communication from staff. Next slide, please. In terms of health safety, when we're looking at, COVID had such an impact, just a reminder that there's no pre-entry test that's required. Masks are encouraged. I was in Shanghai in December, and it was cold season, so I chose to wear a mask sometimes, but that was voluntary, and you'd see the same from others. Sometimes on the metro people were, but yeah, not required. There's no longer that compulsory quarantine or hospitalization. If you did, for some reason, get COVID, then you have a private room if you choose to quarantine in that way. Medical appointments, including online consultations, are available in English. So if you are feeling unwell, it's quite easy for our staff to assist you and have you seen by a medical professional. Next slide, please. So we are aware that the US State Department has declared this, it still remains a level 3, but I want to, assure you, as I said, I've been there myself, and we have students arriving now. So you can go on the State Department's site and read through what that would mean. But just an encouragement, I suppose, to get the information, but know that our programs are running, and we're so excited to be welcoming students there. We do offer comprehensive insurance. We've got alert media, a notification system for students as another check in terms of their health, and we have a specialized team. So our regional manager of health, safety, and security is actually in Shanghai right now. She's part of the team welcoming students and is there to answer any questions that, even in that pre-arrival phase or during your semester phase that you might have. And that's their email for health, safety, and security if you do have any questions in regards to whether it's COVID or anything related to those topic areas. Next slide, please.
Right.
I'll hand back to you, Brittany. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Christy. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the application process. Some students will already be in this process. You'll have varying degrees of being through it, but just so you know what to expect, if you haven't applied, you can apply through our IFSA program website for the particular program, track, or summer program that you want to do. There is a big purple Apply Now button, so it should be pretty easy to see. And then you'll have some application items in your IFSA student portal that'll be generated for you. For our programs, we do have an unofficial transcript requirement, so it makes it a bit easier. If you do have an official transcript, that's okay too to share. We do require your passport as well. If you are currently renewing your passport or you are applying for your first passport, that will be totally fine. You'll just tick a box for us on the application and let us know, and that will allow you to move forward. And then you'll have some other agreements, releases, other items that we'll have for the application. And of course, if you have any issues with anything going through the application, I am your go-to person. Let me know. You can email me. Any student who starts an application will have my phone number, all of my Calendly. You can make appointments with me. We can hop on screen on Zoom. Most students like to use Zoom instead of Teams, and you can screen share. So I am here to help you through this process. After the application process is done and you've done your initial submission, then You'll have your approval that will come from IFSA. We do have an app item on there called program approval that I like to briefly mention, just so students are aware. That does go through your home institution. IFSA sends out an email directly to them, so it's nothing you have to do on your end. And your study abroad advisor will go in and approve you. So if you do have questions about timeline there, you can always reach out to your home institution. And then you'll be into the pre-arrival guidance once you've accepted your spot. So we'll send you your program acceptance, give you typically about 10 days to commit to the program. And if you need more time than that, we can be flexible. You can reach out to me and let me know. But that takes you into that pre-arrival guidance that Christy had mentioned earlier, just giving you guidance on flights. I'll send out a flight guide, a visa guide, how to get the, we do the X1 visa for fall and spring, and we do the X2 for summer. And we will help you with that, give you the documentation that you need, and just make sure that you have everything that you need in preparation for your semester with us in Shanghai. So that takes me to scholarships. So we have some great scholarship opportunities for you. So you definitely don't want to miss out. We do have our general scholarship fund. This is a needs-based scholarship. Any student who starts an application is eligible. So some of you who've already started your application may have this already. If you do have an open application and you do not see the scholarship application as an item for you, send me an email or text me, let me know, and I can make sure that you get it into your portal so that you can fill it out. We do have 2 deadlines for these scholarships. So our priority is March 1st, so coming up, and then we have a final deadline of April 1. So I always recommend getting your application in by that priority deadline, because then if you're not awarded during the first round, you automatically carry over to the second round and can get awarded then as well. So again, that's our general scholarship fund. Everyone is eligible who does the program. First generation college scholarship is also one that we have through IFSA. That does have a final deadline of March 1st. So if you are a first generation college scholarship, a college student, and are interested in this scholarship, definitely let me know. If you have this general application, you can see information about the first gen on that application as well as instructions. It's also on our website, the IFSA Scholarship website. But again, if you are interested and you're not sure how to get that started, just let me know and I can help you there. We also have one other opportunity, the IFSA Student Marketing Correspondent. So this will come later in the process. So once you've already accepted your program place and you're in the pre-arrival times, our marketing team will send out information about this opportunity and how to apply for it. And it's basically about, I think it's a $750 stipend for your semester. And you would do, that's for spring and fall, and then you would do some photography, videography, maybe some social media type work for IFSA as a part of that. So a really cool opportunity as well to go for. We have other means of financial support as well. You should definitely check out. If you go to a state school, you will automatically have a $2,000 grant awarded to your amount. You can also use your financial aid. So anything that you're already getting from your home institution, if you're getting student loans or other scholarships, you'll want to work with your home institution and talk to your financial aid office. And you can go through what you're currently getting and see if that can be applied to your semester in Shanghai. We also have IFSA Upfront Advance. So that's for students who may be concerned about the upfront costs, such as the flight and the $500 program deposit. That becomes due when you accept your place in the program after you've been accepted. So if that is a concern for you, you can fill out an IFSA Upfront Advance, which just bills that to your later tuition instead of having you pay it upfront. We also have payment plans, which are really helpful too, that students can get on and pay over time instead of paying in one lump sum as well. So a lot of other great financial support in addition to these scholarships. So definitely check those out. We can probably link the scholarship page in the chat soon to give you easier access to that. And again, let me know if you have any questions about this or would like to get the application in your student portal that you don't have yet. All right. Lastly, we have a few key program dates for you. This is for fall and summer. So for summer 2024, that one is coming up first. So remember that the deadline is March 15th. So we still have a few weeks. And just a reminder of the session dates. So as I mentioned, we do have 2 sessions. You can do one. The first one is from May 27th to June 21st. Session 2 starts June 24th and goes to July 19th. And then if you do both sessions, you would be in Shanghai with us from May 27th to July 19th. And then for let's go back. For fall 2024, our application deadline is April 15th, so you have a little bit more time for that one. And the program dates haven't been finalized yet, but they will be late August to early December for the fall dates. And I anticipate that those will probably be in our system very soon. But that is for fall 2024. All right. So that is all we have for you about our amazing Shanghai opportunities. So we can move into the Q&A. And Christy, if you can see any in there now, we can go ahead and get to those. And if there are none, please definitely feel free to drop your questions in the chat for us.
Thanks, Brittany. There was a few questions, so trying to be
Perfect.
answering those if they kind of have come through. So there was a question about the faculty that teach the courses. Great question. And that's something some of our faculty have been with us for years, and they are professors at the local university. So that is where we tend to get the faculty that teach our classes. And I've met a few of them while I've been to our Shanghai center. So if there is a particular subject that you're interested in, we can provide more information for that, but in general, they are university or professors from the local universities. There was a question about how many students participate in the program. I did share we had a smaller cohort this spring running just our social science and international business streams. I'd expect we'd probably see around 10 to 20 students in the fall across the programs. Intensive language that will be starting up again in fall is traditionally a small program, so only a few students tend to take that more intensive track. And then there was a question and these are great questions about the facilities at the university. So confirming you are a SUFI student as well as an IFSA student, so you can use the gym. They've got a swimming pool, library. We'll have some of our classes actually at the SUFI university campus, just so that you can engage with other students and be on campus there as well. So you might have your core class there and then other classes at the IFSA Center. So you can use all the facilities on the campus. Excellent questions.
Great
any
question.
others? Another question's come in about the teaching and learning styles in the courses, lectures, papers, exams mostly. It will depend on the class, but I would suggest there would be a mix. I think there often is sort of that lecture, but also sort of maybe seminar style in terms of depending on the class that you're in. There will be like a co-curricular activity that you could participate in, whether that is going to a company or an organization. And I mentioned, I think, about supply chain management. Maybe it would be going to the museum or the art gallery if you're doing survey of art. So there's some opportunities outside of the classroom. With IFSA, in terms of the syllabus, we try and stay away from classes that just have, 2 large exams or pieces of assessment in that way. So I would suggest there's often a mix kind of assessment, but that you could expect to be taking some exams within that, but they would fall in the course academic calendar and wouldn't be scheduled for a time after, if that makes sense. Anything further to add on the teaching and learning styles, Brittany?
Yeah, I will say also that if you are interested, all of the syllabi for each course, they are on our website. So if you go to the IFSA Shanghai site and go to academics, they'll have the classes listed. If you click on the title, it'll link you to that syllabus. And oftentimes there are more details there on the type of work that you're doing in the class. A lot of times, like there's some project-based stuff, and some of them will have even a breakdown of each class and what you're doing. So I think you'll be able to find some more insight for that there in the syllabi as well.
Great.
Other questions?
There was another question. Are there previous video social media experience required for applying for the IFSA Social Media Scholarship? I might hand that one to you, Brittany.
Yeah, I do not believe so. I will say that it is highly competitive, as all the IFSA students really, it's an amazing opportunity. Marketing, again, is the one that spearheads that, and they will send out their qualifications. I don't want to say 100% no, because I don't know, they can change that from cycle to cycle. But that is a great question. I don't believe you need any experience previously to apply for it.
Great. And then there's a question about joining clubs and societies at SUFI. A current athlete, fantastic. Looking to continue practicing my sport. That's something I'll need to get back to you on in terms of, I believe there's some clubs and societies, but something like a sport may have a little bit more, of a structure or system to it. So yeah, if that's something that you want to touch base with us on, I'll reach out to our director and see the specifics around that. Exciting. What sport do you play? I'm curious now. Yeah, if you want to pop that in the chat. Another question came through about how do most students feel about the workload? Do they tend to spend most of their time in the library working, or do they have an appropriate amount of time to explore the city? And I'd suggest with that, yeah, it's, you're there for the purpose of study, but that the courses are structured to be able to give you some time, that the workload is manageable, recognizing that you will want to, having new cultural experiences, taking part in the Penyo project and these sorts of things. So it will require, management of your time and diligence in your work, but that there is enough space within that academic calendar that you're able to really experience the city, and we want you to connect with the local community and the local environment in that. Tennis player, amazing. Let me check into that specifically, and I will get that information for Brittany. So if you want to shoot her an email, we'll make sure to do the follow-up on that. In terms of local volunteer opportunities, I would suggest the same, that you would be working closely with the IFSA staff, and that they would be able to, suggest opportunities, whether through, the university itself, or perhaps they're involved with a community themselves. So that's something, if you have an interest in a specific area, this is where I'd really encourage to, if you apply for the program, in your learning plan, to be really specific in those things that you want to achieve, because whether the personal goals of, continuing your tennis practice or volunteering in a local area, if you provide more detail, our staff read over the learning plans prior to students arriving, and really then try and come prepared, so that we, can assist you from the moment that you, or even before you arrive, in providing information to really help you sort of meet those goals, or those intentions that you have while studying abroad. So yeah, be sure to provide that information for us in the application, so that we can tailor yeah, to your interests as well. Any other questions? Also in the chat, I had just thrown a link to our website, as well as Brittany was talking about the academics. I just put it in for IFSA Study in Shanghai, because if you click on the academics there, then you'll see like all the electives that are offered, so that you can go through. Great suggestion, Brittany, in terms of looking at that syllabus and seeing, the assessment that will be asked of you during that time. But I do think that staff are intentional in terms of moving away from that model of just exams. So. An encouragement as well, if they're, if we haven't answered to the detail, is yeah, reaching out to Brittany too, with those further questions. As I said, our team, so exciting that they are welcoming students right now, and I'm so excited for the semester that those students will have. But yeah, we're always happy to provide any information prior, if that's helping to make your decision or further your application.
All right. So I guess it's looking like all of the questions for now have been asked. Amazing questions. And I want to say thank you all again so much for joining us. And please don't hesitate if you have any questions. I'm sure more questions will come up. Or if you want to, get more information on something we've talked about in this webinar, or just chat about your program goals or anything at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. As I said, you can email, text, or set up a Calendly. I will do Teams, Zoom, or phone calls as well. So I will be more than happy to chat through everything with all of you, and let us know how we can help. And thank you again for joining us, and we hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks for joining, everyone. Such a pleasure.
All right. How many did
Oh,
we end
yes.
up having?
Oh, here, I'm going to stop recording.
Oh, great.